Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I had many notes, many pages, arguments, counter-arguments. You'll be delighted to know I'm going to forgo those, but I do want to make a few points before we have the vote. Out of respect to the concerns in Philadelphia and the Gosnell Abortion Clinic, I reached out to the District Attorney, Seth Williams, this morning. We had a good conversation. He reemphasized to me that the grand jury that deliberated, worked on this grand jury report for a year, interviewed 58 witnesses, reviewed thousands of pieces of evidence. They were horrified, they were outraged and furious, according to him, that nothing has been done. Not the Department of Health, not the Department of State, and not even the Department of Health within the city of Philadelphia. To do nothing is not a good option. The status quo is not a good option. And I would just like to read and quote why this bill is necessary. This bill, I don't take credit for. I give credit to this great work, this great 300-page document, the grand jury document, the grand jurors, the investigators, everybody that put their heart and soul into this deserves the credit for this. And if we save one life, one woman's life, one child's life, one infant that was born alive and then killed under this report, if we can save just one of them by elevating the status of patient safety, this bill is worth it. The case is about a doctor who killed babies and endangered women. What we mean is he irregularly and illegally delivered live, viable babies in the third trimester of pregnancy. This is from District Attorney Seth Williams and the grand jury. And then murdered these newborns by severing their spinal cords with scissors. The medical practice by which he carried out this business was a filthy fraud in which he overdosed his patients with dangerous drugs, spread venereal disease among them with infected instruments, perforated their wombs and bowels, and on at least 2 occasions caused their deaths. Over the years, many people came to know something was going on here, but no one put a stop to it. I am quoting now from the DA and the grand jury report. And I might add, again, not the Department of Health, not the Department of State, or the Department of Health within Philadelphia. He goes on to say, and the grand jury, and then I'll conclude with the grand jury, let us say right up front that we realize this case will be used by those on both sides of the abortion debate. We ourselves cover a spectrum of personal beliefs about the morality of abortion. For us, a criminal grand jury, however, this case is not about that controversy. It's about disregard of the law and disdain for the lives and health of mothers and infants. We find common ground in exposing what happened here and in recommending measures to prevent anything like this from ever happening again. The grand jury report went on to not once, but I believe 52 different times, ask that we do what is contained in House Bill 574, and that we regulate these abortion clinics under the Health Care Facilities Act as ambulatory surgical centers. Again, what to do about all these problems? We, the jurors, have reviewed thousands of pieces of evidence and heard testimony from 58 witnesses. The squalid spectacle that greeted investigators when they raided the clinic last February was awful, to say the least. Yet even their descriptions of the scene could not prepare the grand juries for the shocking things we have seen and learned about Gosnell, his medical practice, and the way abortion clinics are regulated in Pennsylvania, or I might say, not regulated in Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard a lot of concerns about cost. I've been told over and over again that only about 3% of the volume in these abortion clinics actually result in abortions. 97% are not. So let's get to the heart of the problem then. If the lion's share of the revenue in these abortion clinics are non-abortion related, well, let's fix the problem then. Let's fix what is the underlying tragedy, atrocity, and horror. And again, a gentleman said earlier, how do we know how many more Dr. Gosnells are out there? We need to regulate. We need to tighten this. We need to eliminate the loophole and the exception that was carved out back in the late 1970s. My goodness, 17 years or more, there wasn't even one singular inspection of these abortion clinics. That's just inexcusable and outrageous. Let's do something good here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to conclude, Mr. Speaker, with a quote by DeGrellet. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good thing, therefore, that we can do, or any kindness that we can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. And a great person once said, evil flourishes when good men do nothing. It is such a time as this that we are compelled to act and do good, hopefully prevent future loss of life, and increase substantially patient safety within abortion clinics that should be licensed and regulated as ambulatory surgical facilities under the Health Care Facilities Act. Mr. Speaker, today at this hour, place and time, we have a unique opportunity to do that which is good, just and appropriate. Let us not defer nor neglect a chance to make sure that the horrors and evil that transpired within the abortion clinics run by Dr. Gosnell ever happen again on our great soil here in Pennsylvania. I urge your support for House Bill 574, and may God bless you as you cast your vote for patient safety and human dignity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.